Hi all, let's have a look at another fascinating game of our current world champion Magnus Carlsen at faster time controls. This was in the World Rapid Championship in round 2 against Vladimir Dobrov. Okay, let's see. d4. Magnus plays knight f6. After c4 the e6 move. So if knight c3 then we have Nimza Indian. But here we have after knight f3, d5, g3, bishop b4 check, knight bd2, black castles, bishop g2, b6, white castles, bishop b7, knight e5. This is all pretty standard stuff up until this point actually. And here quite often bishop e7 is played. I'll give you an example like this: b3 c5 takes, and it's thought to be about equal, this particular position. There's a rarer move which Magnus plays here, which seems quite logical. Queen c8. It's getting rid of an unprotected piece, basically, the bishop on b7. We have c takes d, bishop takes d5, not minding the kicking move e4. And e4 is actually played, bishop b7. So one question here, you can see this e-pawn might be a target later. We have queen c2. Maybe it was an idea to add just support to the pawn, and if c5, which is a bit dangerous here for white, this position could offer dynamic possibilities like this. If there's a pawn sack on d4, for example, like this, is a disaster for black. So there are some dynamics going on for sacking the d pawn, but we see after queen c2 now c5, and it does seem to sort of undermine the white centre. It looks a little bit precarious, and the queens are actually staring at each other because of that unusual queen c8 move. We see knight dc4 offering the d pawn, so this is some strange positional gambit. So we see bishop d2, bishop going back to e7, queen d3, but it's here that Magnus, with his queen on c8 in particular, he doesn't try and protect this pawn. Can you guess what black played in this position? He's got a very nice c5 square. What would you play with black? A nice positional kind of tactical move. If I give you 5 seconds starting from now. Okay, knight a6. It's a way of avoiding an exchange. If it went this route, maybe white could take, but this way it's going into that lovely c5 square. Rook a c1. You might think, well, why not take the pawn? Is it too dangerous? Maybe we get this sort of position where black has a small edge. Look at that pressure on e4 here. But so rook c1, queen just goes back to d8 now. Sometimes this is a good move, just putting the queen back there. It's supporting that central pawn. Queen b5, sorry, queen b5, queen b1, knight c5, putting a load of pressure on e4. Rook fe1, and now d3, cutting the support of that poor e-pawn. Look at this glare against the e-pawn, bishop and the two knights, and kind of this dislocating pawn move. f3, this is not the sort of move you really want to play in a hurry. It weakens that key diagonal. The thing is here, this is already very dangerous. If b4, then we could just take here. It's just very nice for black. So f3, b5, and this is getting pretty desperate already for white. b4 is played. This is not very pleasant at all. If knight a5, then this check is quite handy to take on e5, and this isn't very nice. This just isn't a very nice position. After knight c takes e4 to try and nudge the defender of b7, this ends up being very, very good position for black. So that's perhaps why white responded with b4 here. b takes, bishop takes c5 check, king h1, bishop a6, getting support of that c4 pawn. And now we have knight takes d3. You might think, well, why didn't he play knight takes c4? Maybe bishop f2. This is annoying. This position is annoying. If you look at this position, the queen is nearly it's nearly in trouble. If we have this position, it's just better for black. Black's got a big advantage there. Black's better in any case, but this piece sack trying to get the bishop on c5 is what black doesn't have to take care with either the queen or the pawn. Guess what Magnus plays in this position? If I give you 5 seconds to pause the video, black to play. Okay, he gets the bishop out of the way with tempo. And also, look, if the knight moves, then there might be also queen takes d2. So this is really dangerous, the knight and bishop, for tactical liabilities here. Rook c3. Bishop e7, and white is just losing material now. If knight b4 hitting the bishop, then taking, and you see that the black queen can just take on d2 here. So it's improving on that on previously by interrupting this diagonal. So that's why this is just simply, this retreat is simply winning the game basically. So yeah, sometimes you just have to put pieces back in their original squares to get an advantage here. White was just with a load of tactical vulnerabilities in the form of loose pieces in this game. So I thought it's quite instructive tactically, and a very interesting move to try out for the Queen's Indian type players. This Queen c8, bit of a novelty move, not as used as other moves. Okay, I hope you got something from it. Comments, questions, likes, shares appreciated. Thanks very much.